This agricultural community is heavily dependent upon water from the Murray-Darling Basin. We are facing the reality of a 10% reduction in the water falling in the basin. So it's inevitable that agricultural practices have to change. We have to get more value out of every megalitre of water that's used, and research and innovation in that space is going to lead the way. Nobody does community engagement better than the Western Murray Land Improvement Group. They have shown us the model by which we can pursue that kind of consensus and adaptation. It came about through some funding by the New South Wales Government's Increasing Resilience to Climate Change program, delivered through Local Government New South Wales for a resilience program in our footprint. And that resilience program took the form of a consultative approach by the Western Murray Land Improvement Group, who undertook research consultation with their agricultural community to identify means by which improvements in land agricultural productivity could be achieved.
This funding enabled us to do some really strategic thinking, explore those strategic ideas that we had sitting there and develop them further. The resilient farming systems is one element. We showcased and collected a bit of data on soil aerator trial for someone that had sort of gone into cell grazing, a regenerative type of system. So we're sort of telling the story and trying to collect data on what that system means to inform others about the benefits of that. We've got rich biodiversity, we've got a low rainfall environment, so we thought, well, if we implement the practices or support farmers in supporting biodiversity that the broader Australian community wants, that'll provide an income in droughts or in floods. We did a scoping paper as a result of that, and we looked at a range of ground truthing, collect that baseline information to then hopefully find environmental markets for farmers. We did some workshops on interpreting information from Bureau of Meteorology, on climate forecasting, on water trading. We learned a lot from that on how to interpret the data. Things we looked at were a community foundation. We can help kickstart communities that want to move to this landscape and farm. The other thing we looked at was community energy, so renewable energy, that we could be self-sufficient. We've seen examples of that in other communities when they've had a fire. Well, they've actually had self-sustaining energy systems. What we've learnt through the project to make sure council and their networks understand where they can improve their systems or where the opportunities lie in the future. Even with the recent flooding, we were brought in, we were supporting community on the ground in the ways that we can as Landcare, and that was trying to help fish with community aerators that they were deploying around the place, or working with agencies about environmental water.
This is the food bowl of New South Wales, and to a lesser extent of Australia as a whole. So the recognition by Local Government New South Wales that these regional communities and regional agricultural activities need support is very gratefully received. I'd encourage all councils to get on board with a longer term look at the viability of their council area, their farming communities, so that they can provide that kind of a legacy to their time in council. Because if they don't, they will find themselves the victims of climate change, not the adapters to climate change.